Hey, I'm Jim Search, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Rob Adler and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And this week, we're heading up Route 81 into the 315. And if you know what that is, you know what it is, to talk about the sports, franchise, and institution, the Syracuse Orange. This is going to be huge, Rob. I'm telling you this right now. I'm
ready for it.
It's huge.
My only question is, can I take the Erie Canal into the 315? Is that an option?
I mean, you'd be a little bit north of Syracuse, I believe, if you did that. So, I mean,
there's got to be some tributary that I can then jog down on, right? So I'll see you there.
You can fuck with one of the Finger Lakes. That's not too far from Syracuse if you want, but yeah, I don't know if the canal may. I mean, you can, but we're gonna be in the 315. Whilst you ride the canal. But hey, man, give it a shot. I'm not here to slow you down, dude.
All right.
I would never do that.
Hey, if anyone's, if you're on 81 or the Erie Canal, you know what you can do, Jim?
I don't, but I want to know.
Well, you can enjoy yourself because either is going to be a delight. But also you can subscribe, rate, and review our show as long as you're a passenger and not operating a boat or vehicle.
Sure.
Remember, if you throw us a 5-star rating and a positive review, I can also recommend something for us to cover in the future, whether it be a favorite upstate lake person, some kind of just anything. There's plenty of other sports franchises we haven't talked about, other canal systems. There's a lot to cover. So help us out. Shoot a review and a suggestion in those comments.
Yeah, get in there. The water's warm. We appreciate you.
It's true. You know what I also appreciate, Jim?
I don't, but also still want to know.
Well, whenever we have an upstate update.
Oh, we got 2 this week.
I added just a little extra doot in there for the double upstate update. I don't know if anyone caught it, but it's definitely in there and definitely was not a mistake.
Yeah, because when we got the double dose, we got to give it to them.
Here, I'm going to give mine first.
Yeah.
We each have an upstate update. This is I got this update. This is breaking news. It'll be slightly less breaking news by the time the episode comes out. But I got this today, and it has to do with our beloved Binghamton Rumble Ponies and also the Syracuse Mets, who we haven't really talked about much, but also the Brooklyn Cyclones. So this is a minor league baseball update that came directly to my inbox because I do subscribe to the Brooklyn Cyclones mailing list. Big fan of the Cyclones and King Henry,
sure,
who we may or may not have discussed, but we don't have time to get into him. So this particular part of the update is directly from OurSportsCentral.com. New York, Diamond Baseball Holdings, an organization that owns and operates select minor league clubs affiliated with minor league baseball. That's the MLB for those not in the know. Today announced it has entered into an agreement with affiliates of Cohen Private Ventures to purchase the Syracuse Mets and Brooklyn Cyclones.
There you go.
The teams will remain the AAA and High A affiliates of the New York Mets, respectively, and join the franchise's AA affiliate, the Binghamton Rumble Ponies, on the DBH roster. Both clubs will retain their front office staff and continue to be guided by their current leadership, which, when our last episode covering the Rumble Ponies / the B Mets came out, they were under a different ownership. They were owned by, I think it was an HVAC company or something.
Sure.
Based out of some state in the South, maybe Georgia, if I'm remembering correctly. So not only are the Syracuse Mets changing hands, but the Rumble Ponies have also already changed hands. And this is this organization owns 35 teams throughout the country.
A diverse portfolio, to say the least.
Indeed. So I was delighted to see not just the Syracuse Mets in my inbox today, but also a Rumble Ponies mention as well. So hopefully, we can get some good synergy for these teams going. It seems like they were committed to maintaining all these great New York teams, but also kind of enhancing the audience. Or the spectator experience, I guess.
Right. Which, if you go to a Rumble Ponies game, trust me, it's going to get... Well, especially if you go for Thirsty... I think it's Thirsty Thursdays. It gets...
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna turn up. I got to throw out a pitch this summer, man. I've been working my damnedest to get on the field. That would be... what a high water mark.
You can just run out there and throw a ball from. You got to get to the mound. That might be tricky depending on what the security situation is, but also might be very doable.
In the short term, what you're saying, it could get done.
I think if you just send a batch of speedies to the security detail for the Rumble Ponies, they're gonna be weighed down. They're gonna be occupied, right?
Yeah.
Run right on field, throw a pitch, you get off field, in and out.
Like Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
This is a very, very Ocean's 11-esque plot that you've unfurled here, Rob. So, I'll think about it.
Let me know.
If they in fact actually let me do it, and they're like, hey, we have a local celebrity who's ready to throw out a pitch from the podcast Understanding Upstate.
There we go.
You know what
my
I mean?
God. Can you imagine that being announced?
I'd cry.
I would too.
I'd lose it. Well, all right. Solid update for our Rumble Ponies fans, which you better be if you're listening to this goddamn podcast, to tell you that right now. We got another one. Now, I debated on throwing in a bonus one, but I think I'm going to just stick with kind of the serendipitous one. I was at a friend's holiday party this last weekend, and as I am chatting away, met a young lady who was in fact from Orange County, which is in upstate New York. And we had a very in-depth discussion about what constitutes upstate New York and what doesn't. And she was very much on the same wavelength I was and still am, in that if you can access it by the Metro North, then you ain't doing it. You're in a different world. But if you are further up, then you are in fact in upstate New York. Which, when I told her I was from Binghamton, she said, "Oh, you're really far up." And I said, "Well, we could go further than that if you want."
Sure.
If you really wanted to dive into what's really upstate, we go up to Plattsburgh, we go to Oswego. You know what I'm saying? We could get in there, and we'll leave it at that. But
I do have a question though.
Sure.
Metro North is there's a couple lines, right? There's the Harlem line. I forget the name of the Connecticut line. It might just be the Connecticut line. I don't know. And then, I think maybe it's Hudson line and Harlem line. And the Harlem one is the one that goes up towards Connecticut. There's also a third one that it's New Jersey Transit, and then it goes up, I do believe, into Orange County, New York. However, it's very difficult to be a commuter on that line because you're like, it's Metro North kind of, but then it's New Jersey Transit, and then it goes into Penn, and it's kind of a wild ride, for my understanding.
I'm looking at the map right now. We have the New Haven line, Harlem line, Hudson line, Port Jervis, Passaic Valley, and those are the lines for the Metro North.
Got it. Yeah. So that Port Jervis line, it goes in and around Orange County. So by her own definition, she's not upstate.
Yeah, no.
She agrees.
Yeah, this is like a, hey, I live, in like a upstate, downstate, matrixy sort of vibe. And
Sure.
Okay, let's talk about it. And then we constituted what was upstate versus downstate.
Got it. So she was agreeing that Orange County, New York is not. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I say update in the sense of I'm like, I have a podcast about upstate New York. I mean, if you live in Orange County, it's not as if like you are far from upstate New York.
Yeah,
like
you're close.
You can access it, right? Like you could get into Sullivan County, which is right above the Metro North, which, you know, we're gonna give them that. So she's like, I'll listen to the podcast. I'll get in. I was like, that's fucking great. The only annexation in my mind in world that exists as far as the Metro North goes is Yonkers is upstate. I've annexed them into upstate as a result of the Locks and Dipset versus when the Locks shined as bright as could be and showed us what upstate New York was all about.
What about Mount Vernon? Can we get
I was just there.
Can we throw Mount Vernon in with Yonkers or?
Did he kind of ruin that? I'm not trying to take that on, man.
Or is DMX from Mount Vernon or is he from Yonkers?
He is from YO. He is a Yonkers man.
All right.
Heavy D is from Mount Vernon.
That I knew. And then Pete Rock well.
Pete Rock is also from Mount Vernon.
Guys, if you don't know what we're talking about, Jim has another podcast you should listen to.
Yeah, it's called Swatches and Boomboxes, and it's all about 90s hip-hop. And also, you should be listening to 90s hip-hop. Like, what are you doing? Get in there. Because you're missing out on some good stuff. Now, speaking of missing out on good stuff, I don't want to delay these folks.
Yeah, because we got to get to it.
We should jump right in to the goddamn powerhouse institution as far as college sports go when we talk about the Syracuse Orange. They have single-handedly supported the Syracuse area for many, many, many decades, arguably a century, and giving folks shit to do. Because if you've been through Syracuse, no disrespect to my Syracuseans out there, but the Orange have a lot to do with it. I've been there a few times. I've seen an Orange game, but we're going to get to that because I got a lot of good stuff to talk about. All right, folks, the Syracuse Orange are the athletic teams that represent Syracuse University. The school is a member of the NCAA D1 and the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference. Until 2013, Syracuse was a member of the Big East Conference, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. The school's mascot is Otto the Orange. Until 2004, the teams were known as the Orange Men and the Orange Women. And that changed, which we're also going to talk about a little bit later. The men's basketball, football, wrestling, lacrosse, and women's basketball teams play in the JMA Wireless Dome. However, we refer to that around these parts as the Carrier Dome.
Which we've talked about previously
on our
Carrier Dome episode.
That's right. That's motherfucking right. Other sports facilities include the nearby Manley Fieldhouse Complex, the Tennessee Ice Skating Pavilion, and the Drumlins Country Club. Now, there are some historic firsts that have happened in the lineage of Syracuse Orange. Baseball team established 1870, a rowing team in 1874, first recorded football game 1884 versus Medical College of Syracuse, first intercollegiate football game 1889 versus U of R, also known as University of Rochester, first recorded basketball game 1899 versus Christian Academy of Hamilton, Ontario. Lacrosse team founded 1916. First United States Intercollegiate Lacrosse Association Championship. That happened in 1920. Syracuse has a pretty huge lacrosse world up there. That is for sure. The first national championship for football, 1959 versus Texas. first ACC championship in men's cross country in 2013, and the first women's national championship for field hockey 2015. You can go look all that shit up if you don't believe me. Now, as far as men's sports go, these are all the D1. I didn't get into like the there's like some other non-D1 stuff, but y'all can look that up on your own. Men's sports: basketball, cross country, football, lacrosse, rowing, soccer, track and field. And in women's sports: basketball, cross country, field hockey, ice hockey, lacrosse, rowing, soccer, softball, tennis, track and field, and volleyball. Now, I'm going to share something with you, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a journey with the Syracuse Orange. There was a very long time where I did not like the Syracuse Orange.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fuck with them because one of my fucking arch nemesis from high school went to Syracuse, and I said, fuck that dude and fuck everything about Syracuse because I base my allegiance on how I'm feeling about who goes there. Sure. You know, there's a while where I didn't fuck with Buffalo. I had an ex who lived up there, and I said, fuck Buffalo. But I have since moved on. I've softened my stance on both of these towns and teams respectively.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fuck with Syracuse Orange.
Was there a different team you were rooting for? Or you're just rooting against Syracuse?
I was actively against the Syracuse Orange. I wanted them to fail. So I guess Georgetown would have been my go-to since they are rivals. But
didn't know.
Again, I have softened my stance, and I have allowed Syracuse back into my life. Now, as far as football goes, the Syracuse Orange football program is a college football team that currently represents Syracuse University as a member of the ACC. Syracuse University program is also renowned for producing many All-Americans and Pro Football Hall of Famers, among them Ernie Davis, Jim Brown, Larry Zonka. Also is the title of an Action Bronson song, if you want to go back and look that up. Joe Morris, Art Monk, and many others. Now, you may be saying, yeah, that's old news, but are there any football players that are currently active in the NFL that went to Syracuse? Yes, there are. Chandler Jones of the John Bones Jones family, because the family has two professional football players.
That's
Chandler, yeah,
that's two more than my family.
Yeah, two more than mine as well. Chandler Jones, I think there's another brother, I can't remember, and John Bones, who is a UFC champion. So that family is full of people who are God-level talented as far as football goes. Alton Robinson, Zaire Franklin, and several others. Now, Rob, I had mentioned an All-American. His name is Jim Brown.
Yep.
He is a bad motherfucker. And I met him when I was in Cleveland, Ohio, because I used to work. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've met him. He is one of the most like imposing people that I think I've ever met just by aura alone. I was working at, I was working at a hotel, and the Hyatt Hotel to be specific. And the hotel was hosting the Cleveland Browns 1964 reunion for the football team because it was pretty dope. They went, I think they had a perfect season, and they won the NFL championship. Yeah, and Jim Brown was on that team. Who, again, we could talk about him for hours, but because he's a fucking legend. But I say all that to say that when Jim Brown walked up to the desk, I just saw his hands, right? And his hands were just like gnarled, they were just like they have seen so much, right? His hands were fucked up.
They've touched so much.
He has seen a lot of physical activity.
Sure.
And he, I'll never forget, he walks away from the desk, and he saw like a woman who was working there, and he was like, "Hey, how do I get to like the third floor?" And she's like, "Oh, I can show you. Do you want me to take you there?" And he stops her and goes, "I ask the questions around here."
Jesus Christ.
Jim, what the fuck, man?
That's wild.
Relax, dude. I think she's just trying to help out.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. So that's a fun little story about a Syracuse alum by the name of Jim Brown, one of the toughest cats to tackle. Now, if we're going to talk about basketball, holy shit, we got a whole lineage of players and a legacy to get into. The Syracuse Orange men's basketball program is the intercollegiate men's basketball program for Syracuse University. The program is classified as D1, and the team competes in the ACC as the football team. The Orange won the national championship in 2003 for men's D1 basketball. I remember this. Holy shit, what a ride. I was sitting in a dorm room at Niagara University and had a bunch of Syracuse heads with me, and the place erupted. And this was the first and only year that Carmelo Anthony played for Syracuse. And there was a big campaign saying, you need to stay and win more championships. And he's like, the fuck I do, because my ass about to go to the NBA, because if I stick around here, I'm going to get injured and I'm going to be a coach at a local high school. And I'm not doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and shine bright. But 2003, boy, that was a wild time. Now, during the 08-09 season, they played in and won a 6 overtime thriller against rival UConn. 6 overtimes. That game is like 4 hours.
Jesus.
Holy shit, man. Fucking incredible.
You got to reopen concessions at that point, right? Like they'll you cut off the alcohol, I don't know, sometime before the fourth quarter, you hit that third overtime. You're pulling the shutters back up for sure.
You have to, man, because Syracuse got a lot of thirsty people, man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Mm-hmm. You can't have people sitting there like that. No. And nobody's leaving. It's not like, this is incredible. Now, the game was during the Big East Championship Tournament and is the second longest NCAA Division I basketball game of all time.
Wow.
Their recent success has included a trip to the 2013 Final Four and the 2016 Final Four, relatively recent, and the 2013-14 season. 10 years.
Yeah.
They broke a record set 2 years prior by starting the season 25-0. Incredible. The previous record was 20-0, set in the 2011-12 season. The 1917-18 and 25-26 Syracuse teams were retroactively named the national championship by the Helms Athletic Foundation and the Primo Peretta Power Poll.
Say that 10 times fast.
I will not. I will do nothing of the sort. I can't imagine any of those players were alive. This is probably for posterity's sake.
God, yeah.
But neither here nor. Now, we talked a lot about the men. Let's talk about the ladies for a minute, because there are women out there, the Orange women, that are playing for women's basketball. The women's basketball program is the intercollegiate basketball program of, you guessed it, Syracuse University. The program is classified as a D1 team and competes in the ACC. The head coach of the team, Felicia Leggett-Jack. The team began playing in the 71-72 season. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about a sport that I feel like appropriated incredibly so and has been dominated by a lot of dudes who, you're touch and go. I've yet to meet a solid lacrosse player in my life. I'm assuming they exist, and they all.
I don't think I've ever met a lacrosse player in my life. Lacrosse was not big, at least in.
Oh yeah.
In my town, we may have. I don't even know if we had a lacrosse team. Yeah. Oh,
dude, it's huge in the Northeast. Like lacrosse is pretty wild. I played 1 year. It's intense. I got moved to defense because I would fuck people up.
Wow.
Yeah, I was pretty good as far as just tearing people down and not letting anyone get anywhere. I was pretty good at that. So, Syracuse fields a D1 NCAA lacrosse team. They played their first lacrosse game in 1916 and captured the USILL, United States Intercollegiate Lacrosse League Division Championship in 1920.
I had no idea it was organized lacrosse was that old either. I would have figured
man.
something that came about much later.
I mean, it's been stolen from the Native Americans and turned into, again, just a primarily white dude, Chet kind of vibe. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
There's probably some Steves in there too. A lot of Steves and Chets.
Yeah, Brads. A lot of Brads have played lacrosse at some point. It would go on to win the U.S. ILL championship in 22 to 25, and then did a D2 co-national championship in 54. In the modern NCAA era, Syracuse has won 10 championships, with one additional chip vacated due to rules infractions, which, again, we're going to be talking a whole shit ton about that later, folks. File that for later. The Orange 10 national championship titles are the most of any team in the NCAA history. Most recently, relatively recent, within the 2000s to today. They won a 2009 championship and a come-from-behind 10-9 victory over Cornell University. Before that, they won in 2008. So, back to the ladies for some women's hockey. In 2008, Syracuse announced that it would sanction a women's hockey team and became a member of the Women-Only College Hockey America, the CHA for short, and the team started playing in 2008. After the 23-24 season, the CHA merged with the Men-Only Atlantic Hockey Association to form the Atlantic Hockey America. All members of both predecessor conferences were brought into the league. Now, we have told you about the teams, and we had briefly mentioned where they play at the top. So I'm going to give you a little bit about the JMA Wireless Dome, also the Carrier Dome, which, if you're like, man, I need more about the Carrier Dome, well, motherfuckers, we got you, because we have a whole episode dedicated to this edifice of excellence. Okay.
I think I almost cried in doing research for that episode too. I won't say any more. You're just going to have to go listen to it.
Yeah, you got to get back in there. Cause a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, for that building. Again, we'll give you just a quick little overview. Built in 1980, the JMA Wireless, aka the Carrier Dome, is a 49,250 seat domed sports stadium located on the campus of Syracuse University. Folks, the entire town of Binghamton could fit in this building. You just get everybody. It is both the largest dome stadium on a college campus and the largest dome stadium in the Northeast. It is home to the Syracuse Orange football, basketball, and lacrosse teams. With regard to basketball, it holds another title, being the largest on-campus basketball arena with a listed capacity of 33,000. This limit has been exceeded several times, which I believe. The Dome sold out an on-campus NCAA record of 35,446 tickets for a game against the Duke Blue Devils on February 1st, 2014. The previous record was set February 3rd, 2013 against the Georgetown Hoyas, which, again, now kind of my enemies, with 35,012 in the stands. Huge. Now, time has passed. There was a player, as we had mentioned at the top, named Carmelo Anthony, who in 2003 helped usher in one of the high water marks of Syracuse Orange history in bringing in a championship. And he went on to play in the NBA and has done some ballery shit and made a shit ton of money. And what do you do when you make a shit ton of money? You give back to the community. And he did that with the Carmelo Anthony Basketball Center. Obviously named after Carmelo Anthony, who donated $3 million to the project. Anthony played 1 year with the Orange in 2002 to 2003, and again said peace, in which he helped the program win its only NCAA championship so far. They should have said so far. It's a college basketball practice facility located in Syracuse, New York. Facility opened in September of 2009. Both men's and women's basketball teams for Syracuse use the center. The facility houses 2 practice courts, locker rooms, and office facilities for the men's and women's basketball programs at Syracuse. It is located on the north side of the Manley Fieldhouse, in between Roy Simmons Sr.'s coach's wing and the Comstock Art Facility. In case you want to go check it out. I bet it is pretty badass, though. Now, they didn't just win one championship, okay, folks, as I said. They have put in some fucking numbers, all right? The men across the board have won 15. Basketball, 2003. Boxing, 1936. Cross country, 51 and 2015. And 10 lacrosse titles across from 83 to 2009. When I told you they were a powerhouse, I wasn't kidding. They put up one for soccer in 2022, and the women won the field hockey in 2015. Now, behind every team is a mastermind, is the captain of the ship. Who is going to steer these teams to success? It is your coach. And these guys and gals are past and present, okay? Lou Andreas, men's basketball. Jim Boeheim, the fucking legend, Jimmy B. Stove God Cooks has a song all about Jim Boeheim. Go look him up if you're not familiar with the Syracuse rap sensation. He's incredible. Jim Boeheim
for a long time.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
holy hell.
he is an institution in Syracuse, New York. I had a friend's son who played for Syracuse, and he played under Jimmy. And I'm talking like I know him. He played for old Jimmy B.
From one gym to another, you know?
Yeah. And yeah, he's no fucking joke, man. That guy wants to win, and he knows how to win. And he's been out there for a minute. So I don't know who the new coach is. Lou Carr for baseball, Lori Cox for men's lacrosse, Roy Danforth for men's basketball, John Desko for lacrosse, Gary Gate for men's lacrosse. As we had alluded to before, there were some notable athletes who have passed through the Orange, some of which you may know of sports fame today. Doc Alexander, who made it into the College Basketball Hall of Fame. Gary Anderson, who's second-time NFL scoring, 2-time NFL Pro Selection. Carmelo Anthony. Come on now, folks. NCAA basketball tournament, most outstanding player, Olympic gold medalist, most points scored in Olympic play. How about that?
Wow.
Dave Bing, who played basketball, is also the mayor of Detroit.
All right.
Yeah,
cool.
Into that. How about that? Jim Brown, again, toughest cat to tackle. College Football Hall of Fame, National Lacrosse Hall of Fame, and Pro Football Hall of Fame. Sorry, correction. He was not All-American. Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Also, he played a character in, not Total Recall, other Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from that time.
Oh, yeah, we got a...
Running Man.
Was he in Running Man?
A character in Running Man. Yeah, he was the flame guy.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right. Oh, my God. What a great fucking movie. I mean, you know, what a Renaissance man. Let's be real.
It's true. A running man in his own right, but also a Renaissance man.
A man of many talents. Derek Coleman, Silver Anniversary Big East basketball team, an all-time Big East rebounding champion, NBA Rookie of the Year. And Tom Coughlin, who you may know as the head coach for the New York Giants. Folks, I have given you all the sports nuggets of information that you need. Rob, I want you to talk to us about some of the nicknames, mascots, and colors that have flown through the Syracuse Orange.
I can do it. Yeah, they didn't start off as being called just the Syracuse Orange, which when I first learned of this team, I was like, it's it's just orange, just Syracuse Orange. It's a kind of it's a unique name, to put it. But let's talk about how we got there. So it is, of course, the official school color, and was adopted as such in 1890. Prior to that time, the school's colors were rose pink and pea green, which
I can't see it.
My word.
Can't.
I love it. It's awesome.
Hard for me to wrap my brain around as an upstate New Yorker. I'll tell you that right now.
It's hard to wrap your eyes around that color combination.
Yeah, that's not. That ain't it.
Oof.
That ain't it.
In 1898, a proposition to add a secondary blue color was vehemently opposed by students and alumni. Orange, blue, and white are traditionally used for athletic uniforms. And according to an 1890 newspaper article uncovered by the Syracuse Post-Standard, the orange was originally a reference to the Netherlands, which I think whenever they compete in the Olympics, their color is orange. So there's some strong historical association there with that color for the Netherlands, which of course first colonized New York State. It's common in upstate New York for place names to refer to their Dutch heritage, and similarly, the original settlement that became Albany was called Fort Orange. Didn't know that. The athletic name derives from the official color. And before 2004, the official nicknames of the athletic teams were the Orangemen and Orange Women, both one word. These former nicknames are still affectionately used by some fans. However, beginning with the 04-05 school year, the official nickname was just changed to the not being included, just Orange. Nickname being just Orange. Capital O, though, however. This revision is gender neutral, concise, and reflects the basis of the nickname as being the school color. Other nicknames over the years have included Hilltoppers for the school's location on a hill.
Yes.
And the Saltine Warriors, which we will be getting into right now. So this is in 1931, a Native American warrior known as Nathan March, a.k.a. Saltine Warrior, became the athletic mascot.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Where could this go left? Can't imagine that.
The name derived from an article describing an archaeological dig on campus, allegedly uncovering the artifacts of a Native American warrior. The warrior was called the Saltine Warrior because of the abundant salt deposits in the Syracuse, New York area. Hey, if you want to learn more about the abundant salt deposits in Syracuse, New York, we got an episode all about salt potatoes, which goes more into that in depth. Check it out. All right, back to this though. The article was later revealed to be a hoax. What do you know? But the mascot, of course, remained for the next 4 decades.
Whee!
In the mid-1950s, the father of a Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity brother owned a cheerleading camp. He made a Saltine Warrior costume for his son to wear at Syracuse football games. Not good.
No, this is going to go left.
Yeah, it went left a while ago. We'll talk about that later, but this began a nearly 40-year tradition of Lambda Chi brothers serving as the university's mascot. In 1978, the Saltine Warrior was banned by the university as part of the national movement to eliminate Native American motifs, becoming one of the first colleges to do so. The mascot briefly morphed into a Roman warrior, but was eventually replaced unofficially in 1982 by giant cartoon-style orange, which I didn't know there was any push for that, any time that far back.
Yeah.
So that's
here we are.
Something. Some more controversy around the Saltine Warrior. It did receive significant controversy in the mid-1950s due to its stereotypes and mimicking of Native Americans. During this period, a member of Syracuse University's Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity began attending football games dressed as an exact replica of the Saltine Warrior.
Oh boy.
Not good.
Sir.
And this is like, 1950s too. It's gotta be so bad.
Here's how bad. Like, do you know how bad you have to be to have like, for someone in the 50s to be like, hey man, maybe you should relax with that. Because not the most PC era. To say the least.
I'm blown away. There was any pushback from larger community, right?
That's wild.
Yeah. So the portrayal included exaggerated, insulting parts intended to be amusing, but ultimately, of course, reinforced negative stereotypes about Native American costumes. In 1951, a wooden statue portraying a Native American was used by the football team to scratch tally marks on the figure after defeating a team. Nope. And during some of the school's football games, a drunk white frat student would take off into the stands and run around making whooping sounds attributed to Native Americans and their war dances. And he would go through a mock form of Native American dancing. It was clear that the person doing it didn't know or have any respect for the art form at all. This was according to Chancellor Melvin Eggers, the 9th Chancellor of Syracuse University.
Which, that like that dude that was doing that went on to like be a CEO of like some fucking company.
Oh yeah.
Or just like a used car lot, like he owns like
or
several,
both.
Yeah.
Both.
Used car dealership in like upstate New York. It's like a chain. I see it. I absolutely see it.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm pretty surprised they course corrected by the 70s, which is too long. But
right.
Again, there's still universities that do this shit.
Right.
And, gleefully. Speaking of gleeful, let's talk about Otto the Orange, baby. I love that his name's Otto.
There you go, man.
Well, let's get into it. The cheerleaders and mascots were at a UCA cheerleading camp in Tennessee that summer and narrowed the field down to 2 potential names, Opie and Otto. Opie. Figuring the name Opie would lead to the inevitable rhyme with dopey. Smart.
It would.
Yeah. They settled on Otto. Later that fall, word got out that the cheerleaders were calling the latest mascot costume Otto, and the name stuck. Otto the Orange was adopted by the family. By the family? That's not even the word. Otto the Orange was adopted by the university in 1995 as the university's official mascot, selected over a wolf and a lion, also under consideration.
And I feel like maybe because I've like just, again, as a product of upstate New York and just like, seeing like an orange, like Otto the Orange, I cannot imagine a wolf or lion in that position. That makes no fucking sense. I'm glad that they did not do that to my brain.
I mean, and look, does Syracuse, New York have orange trees? No. And it certainly doesn't have wolves or lions. So I feel like oranges are the weirder choice. And for that, I like it. Like, don't get upset. The other alternatives didn't make sense either. And this is the best and weirdest one.
Right.
It's cool. The Netherlands like orange, and it makes sense. It makes sense. It's great. It's great. All right, let's get into some more controversies and talk about the Syracuse University athletics scandal. So the NCAA's investigation into violations by Syracuse athletics dates back to May 2007, following an initial report by the university to the NCAA after the university learned that local YMCA employees paid some football and men's basketball student athletes. Syracuse claims the NCAA's investigation of Syracuse has taken longer than any other investigation in NCAA history. And on October 27th, 2010, Syracuse formally submitted a written report detailing actual and potential violations to the NCAA, who in turn sent Syracuse a written notice of inquiry on December 2nd, 2010.
Uh-oh.
Let's get into it. So, initial media reports. Prior to the NCAA's March 2015, we're already 8 years down the line here. It did take a long time. Syracuse and national media began reporting on potential rules violations by Syracuse athletics. Yahoo Sports, a forever important and hallowed sports institution.
The premier authority on all sports.
Reported on March 5th, 2012, that Syracuse often failed to follow its own internal drug policy. Then March 20th, 2013, CBS Sports and Syracuse Post-Standard reported that the NCAA was investigating Syracuse in issues that CBS called both major and wide-ranging in nature. Oof.
God damn, man.
Yikes.
Listen, I mean, I know some underhanded people in upstate New York.
Sure.
Trust and believe that. So this kind of is on track.
Yep. I'm not surprised.
I mean, yeah.
As the NCAA continued its... I skipped something. Brett McMurphy of ESPN revealed on October 24th, 2014, that Syracuse had a hearing with the NCAA Committee on Infractions in Indianapolis scheduled for the next 2 days. As the NCAA continued its investigation, the Post-Standard continued to reveal new areas of investigation. On November 17th, 2014, the newspaper reported that the NCAA was investigating possible improper benefits offered by the YMCA of Oneida, New York, to Syracuse student athletes, including falsified internship hours for credit in the Child and Family Services major.
Oof. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you
Looks
can't
like you
fuck around with credits, man.
Yeah, you can't cook the books like that, man. Blue Chips is all about that. Great fucking movie. But yeah, again, not shocked that there was some fudging of the numbers to get this in.
Yeah. All right. Findings. The NCAA found that men's basketball coach Jim Boeheim failed to promote compliance of NCAA rules within his program for nearly a decade. Oof.
Jimmy.
Oh, boy. Eligibility of... let's see. So we're going to talk specifically about a player, Fab Melo. And this was in the summer of 2012. Syracuse learned that Fab Melo, again, of the men's basketball team, received improper assistance on coursework. After Melo was suspended for academic ineligibility in January of 2012, athletic director Dale Gross and the Syracuse University Provost's office held a meeting with other academics and athletics officials to determine if the university and NCAA rules permitted a pathway to reinstate Melo. The Committee on Infractions agreed that the meeting was appropriate, and the path proposed at the meeting was a procedure that, if carried out appropriately by the student athlete, it would have restored his eligibility within institutional and NCAA requirements. Ultimately, it was decided that Melo would be allowed to resubmit a paper from a class taken 2 semesters before, raising his grade for eligibility. Wow, that's very generous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this isn't Fab Melo, the film major.
Yeah.
This is Fab Melo, the guy who's going to bring in a bunch of money for the school. So, yeah.
But for the NCAA, or I guess this is the school saying, hey, resubmit this paper 2 semesters later. But still, the NCAA is upholding that too, which is surprising. Anyway, Melo initially submitted his work on January 27th, 2012, but his professor considered Melo's work inadequate within a few hours. Oh.
He was like, yo, my man, you can't write this on a cocktail napkin. What are you doing here, dog?
Melo resubmitted his assignment and received sufficient credit to raise his grade in the class from a C+ to a B-. That is the most minuscule.
And C+ is passing. Well, whatever.
Yeah, but is we don't need to get into grading rubrics. Anyway, on January 30th, 2 days before Melo was cleared to play basketball again, the Syracuse University College of Arts and Sciences questioned the grade change. The NCAA and university also investigated the circumstances behind Melo regaining eligibility and found that based on file metadata, staffers on the men's basketball team completed Melo's assignment. Oh my God. And they only were able to raise it. Like, come on. Oh my God. I thought surely Melo, like, did it himself, but like marginal improvements. There was a team of adults behind this marginal, unless it was like, Jim, I don't know if you follow any, superhero stories, comics, what have you, but like definitely in, your Supermans and have you when they're in high school, they want to play sports.
Right.
You can't be getting first, right? So you I think this is in the Impossibles too. So you do the harder task of shooting for second or third, right?
Right.
Do you think the team's like, okay, we can't have them go from a C+ to an A.
Right.
Let's dial it into a B-. If that's the case, expertly done, aside from getting caught. But
right.
It's either a very talented team of assistant coaches who wrote this paper, or they're terrible.
I don't know. My gut tells me that this was the latter, not the former, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Sure. All right. So going back to the YMCA of Oneida, the NCAA found that they provided improper benefits to student athletes and coaches. Jeff Cornish, the youth sports coordinator at the YMCA Oneida from 96 to 2006, used a checking account to pay over $8,000 to 3 football and 2 basketball student athletes over the course of 14 months. And also the Oneida YMCA CEO, Hank Leo, hired 3 football players as interns for academic credit, but falsified certifications that the 3 student athletes met their service requirements for said credit. You can't do that.
Well, and also you're going to get caught.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't people keep track of shit like this. You are a D1 school. This would be different if this was Tompkins Community College.
Sure.
And it's a D3 and no one gave a fuck.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you are on
it's
TV
literally
all the time.
someone's job to catch this shit, right? There's a committee for it.
Right.
Well, the NCAA found that the YMCA gave an assistant coach a free gym membership. I mean, you can't do it, but that's what at a YMCA. That's I don't know, less than $1,000 a year.
I feel like they were gunning for him. To be honest with you, they were looking for this. If I'm to be frank.
And then they also paid 2 trainers to volunteer at basketball clinics and subsidized the rental payment for an administrative assistant. All right, so we got some penalties doled out. Prior to the NCAA's final infractions report, Syracuse self-imposed a 1-year postseason ban on February 4th, 2015. Very proactive. And then in March 2015, the NCAA released its infractions report, which found that Syracuse had, of course, possibly violated rules. As a result, 101 wins were vacated by the NCAA from the 2004 and 5 seasons, the 06-07 season, and then also from the 2010 to 11 and 11 to 12 seasons. And however, the NCAA confirmed that sanctions did not include the removal of any trophies or banners. I mean,
they just scratched asterisks on the banners and on the trophies.
And then as a result, Syracuse kept the banner for its 2012 team's run to the NCAA Elite 8 and 2011 advancement to the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament. Also, a Big East Conference official confirmed that the conference's updated media guide continues to list Syracuse as its 2005 and 2006 tournament champion. This reduced the number of Boeheim's career wins at the time from 966 to 858 and dropped Boeheim from second to sixth in all-time wins.
Ooh.
Previous to the NCAA decision, Syracuse voluntarily vacated 24 men's basketball wins, 15 from the 2004-2005 season, and 9 from the 2011-12 season. Following an appeal by Syracuse University, the NCAA reduced its scholarship reduction for Syracuse over the seasons from 2015-16 to 2018-19 season from 12 to 8. And then, of course, Syracuse voluntarily vacated all 11 wins from their 2004 to 2006 football seasons, and the NCAA placed Syracuse football on probation until 2020. Man.
Yo, you can't build a house of cards, man. And and what's fucked up is that there's such a powerhouse and held such high regard. And then to have this, I mean, this is why they are no longer in the Big East and moved to the ACC, was because of this.
That's wild. Well, and like it sucks too. Like, you know, it's a relatively small group of people affecting, you know, entire team. Like that's not just Jim Boeheim stats. That's, you know,
right.
A bunch of players stats that get affected effectively. Like what that like takes out their, you know, maybe there's a guy who only played not a Carmelo Anthony, just a dude who finally made the team, played for one season, and then, none of your wins count. Sorry. You know what I mean? Like, what a... Yeah, that sucks. I don't know about that, Jim. I don't know. And I'm not talking to you, Jim. I'm talking to Jimmy B.
Talking to the Boeheim. I feel like my coworker's kid might have been swept up in this. Not personally, but might have lost some of those wins. Right.
It's no good. It's no good. Well, Jim, that brings it to a close for us today for the Syracuse Orange.
We squeezed the juice out of the orange, if you will.
We sure did. And hey, I'm gonna say, just to squeeze maybe a review or rating out of our Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's. Yeah, don't forget, share an episode with a friend, give us a rating, give us a review. All that really helps us out. Jim.
Yes.
What kind of things can you recommend to help out our Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's for, you know, if there's anything else they want to put on this week to listen to?
Sure.
What do you have for them? Let's
say you are going through like ESPN Sports Classics and you decide to put on the 2002-2003 Syracuse championship win. You just want to jump in, right? You know what I mean? Like you see shots from like half court and you're like, this is fucking incredible. You get inspired. You see so much upstate excellence being displayed and you don't know what to do with yourself. Then you just are brought to tears of joy and you just have the best time of your life. But you're like, I don't want this ride to end. I want some more upstate excellence. Well, I have something for you. It is called Upstate Understandings. It is my comedy album. You should go pick it up. It is going to be a tour de force if you haven't done so already. It is available at gymsearch.bandcamp.com. It's also available on all DSPs. You're going to love it. It's going to be incredible. Also get over to gymsearchcomedy.com. If you want to find all the show dates and shit like that. I got some good upstate comedy business coming up. So I'm excited to let y'all know about that soon. Rob, they have bought everything they could from me, right? They've enjoyed the Syracuse Orange run, victory. Is there anything else that can help them continue that high? Is there anything?
There sure is. There's, in particular, I got one thing in mind. And let's just say you've been working really hard, and you found out you've been recruited by a university. You're super excited to be on the lacrosse team. You're real jazzed, but you just learned that their team colors are rose pink and pea green, and you're a little dismayed. You don't know what to do. You don't have any other offers, so you're either rocking pink and green, or you're not playing lacrosse anymore, right? So you're gonna throw on my album, available at brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. It's called New York Sticky. And you know what? You're gonna get over yourself a little bit. You're gonna put on the rose pink and pea green. You're gonna get out on that field and you're gonna feel great. They're just colors. They might be a really weird uniform choice, but you're gonna have a good time and you're gonna enjoy the album. It's a great instrumental album that I put together over the course of like 5 years, and you can enjoy it in under an hour. So go check that out. Also, go check out our documentary. It's called Understanding Upstate. It's available on YouTube for free. Link is in the description. Jim, speaking of things that are available for free, we're going to have another episode of our podcast for free next week. And that's
free.
It is. What do you have a hint for our listeners for next week?
I do, and it goes as such. Every time you understand Upstate, an angel gets its wings.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good. If you don't get that one, you'll get it next week.
Yeah.
Jim, I have very quickly thought of a closing transition for us. I think last week I really botched it, so I got a nice up pun for us today. You ready for it?
I am. Let's do it.
Jim, I got to suit up because I'm about to go try out for the Syracuse Orange, so I got to get on out of here.
Oh, incredible. 5 stars. No notes. No notes.
There we go.
Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.